Mandatory vasectomies for baby boys.
This crazy psychopath. Imagine the horror if this woman somehow had a son.
So I have a friend who is married, mind you, but she is very touchy with my husband. What do I do?
If women don't trust each other, why should men trust them?
I basically told this man to his face on the first date that he is useless to me unless he makes himself useful.
What did we just watch unfold? There are guys, by the way, that will agree with stuff like this, and we call them desperate.
What's your body count?
My body count? I'd say like under 5. There's a couple situations in which like I don't feel like they count.
This is why I tell guys don't ask them for the body count, because they lie. Now, this is why I tell you guys all the time. Hey y'all, welcome to today's show. I am so glad you're here. You guys are getting lively, you're getting feisty, you're getting spicy. I love it. Get on in that chat and tell me what you think. These 5 clips are a little bit out there. Y'all ready? I don't know if you can handle it today. I know you can actually. Let's hit it. Number 1. Let's do it.
Mandatory vasectomies for baby boys. Yeah, I said it. And if that made you flinch, good. You won't want to miss part 2 either. Trust me. You want to solve half of society's problems? Start there. Because here's the truth. Men don't want to wear condoms. They don't want accountability. They want raw. And when the baby comes, they say, oh, it's not my problem. So fine. Mandatory vasectomies. Problem solved. Abortions, they would drop overnight. Date rape pregnancies, gone. Single motherhood, cut in half. Generational trauma, reduced. And crime would plummet, because fatherless homes are the #1 pipeline to gangs, violence, and prison. Fix the fathers, fix the future. This one move would take women out of survival mode, kids out of poverty, and society out of chaos. And the only ones mad would be the ones that never wanted accountability in the first place. So yeah, call it savage. But if we snip the problem at the root, we'd finally see what society looks like when women aren't carrying it all. Don't scroll, catch part 2, because the return on investment would be mind-blowing.
Okay, so this total nutcase has not been banned for saying that there should be mandatory vasectomies for baby boys. I just want you to, now, and some of these get a little extreme, because I want you to see the difference. So, can you imagine a guy making a video saying something like this about women? I just want you to imagine, would that video stand? Would it be up? This crazy psychopath says something like this and it sits up and it gets applause too. Now, granted, she got a lot of heat too because people were like, you're batshit, which she is. But most of that heat came from men. So this is a woman who literally hates men down to the point where she wants to sabotage a small baby because in her mind, there's no world in which that baby boy grows up to be a man of honor, a man of virtue, it's just not possible, right? She can only see that boy grows up to be someone who isn't a father, who flees the scene, who takes no accountability, who is dangerous, who could do the grape, who she can only see bad. Now imagine the horror if this woman somehow had a son. Can you imagine if she got just the horror. Like, please, honey, never have any children because you are totally batshit psycho. Today's show is brought to you by, this is one of my favorite companies to partner with. This is American Hartford Gold. I've always believed in personal responsibility, taking care of your family, protecting what you've earned, and not waiting around for the government or Wall Street to do that stuff for you. But let's face it, things are getting out of control. National debt's exploding, inflation is hitting hard, the market has been dropping. You know it. If you've been relying on it to protect your future, then that should be your wake-up call. That's not fear-mongering. That's just reality. For those of us who still believe in traditional values like working hard and saving smart and providing for the people you love, we need to think seriously about how to protect our money. That's why I trust American Hartford Gold. They help you to move your savings into something real, something physical. Gold and silver, not paper promises, not digital currencies, real lasting value. You can have gold and silver delivered straight to your door. How cool is that? Or you can place it in a gold IRA that gives you powerful tax advantages. Did you hear that? Their customer service is exactly what you'd hope for. I love it. It's honest. It's helpful. It's totally committed to walking you through every step. Super helpful. They've earned an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and the trust of thousands of families, including my family. And right now, when you make your first purchase and mention my name, mention Jedediah, you could qualify for up to $15,000 in free silver. How cool is that? Amazing. This isn't about politics. It's about being smart. It's about being prepared. It's about doing right by the people who count on you, your children, your family. Call 844-725-1818, or you can just text Bila to 65532. That's 844-725-1818, or text Bila to 65532, or you can just click on the link below. It's all going to be in the show description. All the details are below. Take control of your future because no one's going to do it for you. What I love also is that in a conversation where she's talking about accountability, right? And she's saying that men have no accountability. She talks about abortion and she says, oh, abortions would be cut overnight if, men got vasectomies. Well, what about the female accountability in that game? Why is there no talk in any circumstance about female accountability? What about the female accountability that you shouldn't be having sex with someone if you're not intending to get pregnant? Because it's a possibility all the time. What about the female accountability of you have to have some dignity about your life and be able to detect if there's a guy that's no good, don't mess with him? How about the female accountability of making good decisions? How about the female accountability of all of those things, right? That doesn't play a role in any of this. There's none of that. So in other words, all of these predicaments that happen to women don't happen because of women. And in fact, none of them happen because of women's own choices. This is all falling on men, right? All of it, all the time. It's so sick and twisted. And you're right. She says, calls herself savage. That is savage. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that as a woman who can't take accountability for her own actions is the same thing as a man who can't take accountability for his own actions. It's rancid. It's rotten. Now, does that mean there's no accountability men? No. Does that mean she is right when she says that, an epidemic of fatherlessness is a problem, and that when you have fatherless homes, those children suffer and all of that. Are there no deadbeats out there? Of course there are deadbeats out there. Of course there are deadbeat guys. Of course there are deadbeat women. Of course they exist. Is anyone saying here that because there are a bunch of deadbeat women out there who get abortion after abortion after abortion, who rack up their body counts till kingdom come, who have no accountability, is anyone out there saying that women should at birth, when they're born, baby girls, should be made so that they can never get pregnant? Is anyone making that video? No one's making that video. Number one, because no sane woman would make that video. And secondly, because no sane guy would make that video. And if they did make that video, if some batshit crazy guy made that video, he'd be banned and it would be taken down in 2 seconds as hate. I can't even get on TikTok and say that, men care about female body count and that if you rack up a body count, it's going to come back to haunt you without getting banned. But she can say this. And guys, this is why I tell you the social media can't stand you. It can't stand you. It's so biased against you. Don't spend any of your time there. Don't give it time. Dating apps are the same way. It's rigged. The fact that a video like this can stand tells you it's rigged. Okay? It's sick, disgusting. These are batshit crazy, this is dangerous talk, right? This would be flagged as dangerous if it was said the reverse against women. Holy mother of earth. Ooh. Let's go to, I decided I was going to start you off with a bang. How about that? Sometimes we got to get into that because I see a lot of twisted videos and sometimes I'm like, I can't even show that. This one I was like, no, I have to because you have to expose the crazy. This went viral. This is about a woman and her friend who keeps touching her husband. Let's hit it.
Okay, now hear me out. I need some advice. So I have a friend who is married, mind you, but she is very touchy with my husband. Like she touches him multiple times that they're together for 5 minutes. And it's hard because she's married to my husband's friend. We're all friends, but it's getting to the point where she's touching him a lot. And even when he moves around the couch, she'll follow him and stand next to him. What do I do? And I can only post this on here because I don't want her to see it. I don't want her to feel bad, but also it makes me feel so uncomfortable. Now I'm at the point where I'm getting anxiety every time she's coming over because I'm how much are you gonna touch him? And I'm not worried about him, but I don't know, why would you feel okay being so touchy? touchy with somebody's husband. Like, what do I do? She's a good friend too. Like, I don't want to lose that friendship, but also I don't want you touching my husband.
Okay. Is this not like the sickest video? She's a good friend of yours, so instead of talking to her about it, you made a video for the whole world to see that she's now going to see and be like, why didn't you talk to me about this? I mean, does she sound like a total creeper? Yes. Does she sound like a friend of yours? No. Does she sound like she wants to bang your husband? Kind of. I'm being honest. And I don't know what you mean by touchy, right? Some of these women can be dramatic. Like, is she touching your husband? Like, what define the touch, frankly? Can you post a video? Frankly, honey, could you take a video of it and show us and I will tell you what's going on? like just be really? Watch, I'm going to get a message and be like, I heard you talking about it. I have the video. It's happened before, so don't even. Okay, send us a video if you have it. I'll tell you if she really wants to bang your husband. So what is the point of this video? Why did I pick it? First of all, women don't trust each other. Women don't trust each other. They don't. Do you see this? Secondly, women don't feel comfortable enough to confront each other a lot of times. Like, there's something, if this were happening between guys, a guy would go to his friend and be like, dude, did you just touch my wife? Don't do that again. Like, it would, what the hell is going on? Right? It would be instantaneous. Like, she doesn't feel comfortable to say it, right? Which is weird, A. And secondly, she doesn't trust her. Now, why doesn't she trust her? Because she knows innately, first of all, there's something wrong there if you're married and she's married and she's touching your husband repeatedly in a weird and awkward way. She knows something's wrong. She doesn't want to face it because she's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this situation now? Like, she also knows, though, I think that there's something inherently attention seeking about a lot of young women now. A lot of this generation of women is so attention seeking and so male validation seeking that they kind of like, it's almost like it's programmed in them and they kind of lose their balance a little bit and they start just wanting attention even though they're married, and like the attention from their own husband isn't enough and now they want the attention from your husband. And now imagine this woman when she goes out, right? If she's totally fine touching somebody else's husband in front of them, imagine what she's doing when she goes out and her husband's not there. Also, where is her freaking husband? Her husband doesn't see that she's touching another man? Like, I mean, are you kidding me? You should not, there is no reason, unless you're like, hey, you first walk into the house and it's like everyone gets a hug, hello, or hi, how are you? Nice to see you. That's it. That's the only time that you need to be touching somebody else's husband. So you got a shady ass friend here who's not your friend, A. You also know she's not your friend because you're not even comfortable confronting her on this. Oh, don't you all want to see that conversation though? Listen, if you're one of those, honey in the video, if you're one of those that likes to record your life for everyone to see, we wouldn't mind seeing the video when you confront, the woman who probably wants to bang your husband. I'm just saying, I would like to see how it plays out. Bottom line is, a lot of women, most women, in large part, women don't trust each other. And if women don't trust each other, why should men trust them, right? Not talking about all women, not talking about every single woman, but if you've got women that are suspect about each other, does that inspire men to trust them? Just saying. Think about it. Just saying. Okay. Number 3, sabotaging a first date. Why? Justified or not?
Last night I went on a date and I told the man that I was on the date with that I believe that men are a liability for women. And I gave him all the reasons why I believe that so. I also told him that I don't believe it's a woman's job as a wife to clean the house and cook because that's manual labor. I told him that there has to be a better reason for women to get married than access to intimacy because women always have access to intimacy. It doesn't matter how old we are. Even if we're unmarried, we can easily find intimacy. To summarize, I basically told this man to his face on the first date that he is useless to me unless he makes himself useful, and that he could never expect any trad wife crap from me. So why did I say these things to this man? Because as we were talking, I felt like he could handle it. He seemed emotionally mature, and it seemed like he knew who he is and what he wants. Not all men are like that, and for some men, subtlety is necessary because they get offended so easily. But this man actually agreed with me, and I feel like he took it as a challenge. And by the end of the night, I feel like he was obsessed with me. I say this to remind you that there are emotionally intelligent men who are masculine, who also adore intelligent women. These masculine men are not intimidated by intelligence, and they actually search it out because they know it will benefit their lives in the long run. If you consider yourself to be an intelligent woman, then a man like this would make a great husband for you. But it takes a lot of dating to find men like this because they're kind of rare. Until you are married, you are absolutely single, so keep dating until you find the man who loves you for the things that make you special.
So did we just watch a horror movie unfold? I'm just curious, right? Did you all feel like you were watching? I mean, they're getting crazier and crazier is all I'm going to say. Do you guys get in the chat? I want to hear right now. Do you go on dates, first dates with women, and they show up and they're like this? I would be like, okay, so the devil just showed up in human form, and how do I get out? What the hell what did we just watch unfold? The Voice, the catatonic state. I mean, are they drugged? Ooh, what's going on? Man alive. Okay, so she's confusing masculine with doormat. So any guy she actually thinks that sitting down on date one and in list form telling guys all the ways that he would be useless to her and she doesn't need him and all of the things that she's not willing to do, like I'm not going to cook and clean because that's manual labor, and men are a liability for women and you'd have to prove yourself to me, and all of like long and words like useless. And she thinks that a guy who actually absorbs that information and smiles and says, oh, I think you're right, is a strong masculine man. This is how warped they are. And they want you to think that, guys. They want you to think that that is a sign of a strong masculine man because they want you to become that doormat. They want you to say, oh, that's masculine. That's what women want. That's how I'm going to get a woman. Maybe, like, they want you to be manipulated in the game to thinking that these are somehow aspirational traits in a man, to be able to listen to yourself being berated and just treated like crap, honestly, and that you're supposed to, that defines emotional intelligence. I, by the way, see this all the time with men who go into therapy sessions, couples therapy, and they get told they're not emotionally intelligent. And really what women want them to be is just, they want to be able to treat them like crap. They want them to be total simps, doormats, do everything women want. They want men to acknowledge that they really don't, women don't need them. So you really have to always be proving yourself to a woman. Emotionally intelligent means, in many respects, for women, it means that men like acknowledge their uselessness, right? And acknowledge that women don't need you and realize you really need to bring to the table all of these things because women can do these things on their own now. It's abuse, right? This, you're not emotionally intelligent, in many ways has become abusive. So I would, and guys, listen, this is why I tell you, when you show up, if this is your date, this is when you sit and you say, oh, honey, listen, I'm not going to pay to sit and listen to someone talk to me like this because I don't have to. So I'm going to pay for mine and you can sit and enjoy yours and have a nice night. I'll see you later. Now, will they make a video about that? Sure. Do you give a lick? No, to sit there and pay for her food while being treated like trash. Listen, you do what you want, but you're just doormat heaven. Okay. And if you go on a second date after that, I don't know what to tell you. And the fact that he agreed, can you imagine what kind of guy you're really dealing with here? A guy that would actually, oof, man alive. There are guys, by the way, that will agree with stuff like this, and we call them desperate and sad and pathetic. And they need to go take a course with an actual masculine man who teaches them how to have some self-respect, right? Because you wouldn't give this woman more than 3 seconds of your time if you had any self-respect. Can we all acknowledge that? Get in the chat, get in the comments. I want to know in the chat, in the comments, if you've been on a date with a woman like this and what did you do? What did you do? I'm curious. Okay. So when you ask women about body count, I find that they discard certain situations and they just don't count those. Interesting. Number 4, let's hit it.
And also, if I get drunk, I don't count whatever happens while I'm drunk. This is part of my body count.
What's your body count?
My body count? I'd say like under 5.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, there's a couple situations in which like I don't feel like they count. For example, like if I meet a fan and we decide to do content, I don't consider that part of body count. If I go on a girls trip, whatever happens in that girls trip, I feel like that doesn't count as a body count.
So if you get drunk, 5 guy,
Didn't happen.
it doesn't count towards the body count.
Doesn't happen. Doesn't it doesn't count. It doesn't count because it just doesn't. I feel like the only times I consider body count is when I'm like invested in what I'm doing and like in an emotional way.
So if you met the man of your dreams right now and he wants to spend the rest of his life with you and he says, I just have to ask you one question, just be honest, it doesn't matter. What's your body count? What would you say?
I would be honest. I would say under 5.
So they're liars. They're liars. This is why I tell guys, don't ask them for the body count because they lie, right? Do you hear what she says under 5? Now, just looking at her, looking at the video, I'm not going to comment on the physicality of the video. You can make your own assessment on there. But just looking at the video, when she says under 5, I'm like, okay, sure, honey. Right. What is it actually? Right. Under 5. And then she goes on to say all the situations where she doesn't count. So if she's drunk, doesn't count. She could be drunk and sleep with, on the span of a year, 50 guys. Those 50 don't count. If she's making content with the fans, like if she's the OF crap, that doesn't count. If she's on a girls trip, some of these girls go on these girl trips and they'll sleep with 5-6 guys in a week. No joke. It happens. Those don't count. So the body count only counts to her when she's emotionally invested in a situation. That means when it's someone she's actually dating. So every fling, every drunk escapade, every one night stand, none of those count. So can you imagine a guy actually meeting her? Now, this is why I tell you guys all the time. You have to be able to detect the body count without the number. Don't ask them. They're liars. You have to be able to look at her posture, look at what she's wearing, look at how she talks, look at what she talks about, look at who her friends are. Look at how she behaves when you're out. Is she attention seeking? What does her phone look like? How possessive is she of her phone? What is she doing on the phone? How many ex-boyfriends does she have that she'll acknowledge, and how does she speak about them? You have to be able to, how does she dress for date 1? How does she dress when she goes out with her girlfriends? If you are tolerating the girls' night out, which you shouldn't, when they're, I'm not talking about I'm going over to my friend's house, have some dinner. I'm talking about naked, going to the bar till 5 a.m, girls' night out. How's she dressed? Like, you need to be able to assess all of these things, and you will know her body count like that. You will not need her to say 5. In the meantime, it's like 505, right? That's the gift, being able to detect it. I want to tell you one of our sponsors today. Don't fast forward through this. This is very important. Some of y'all have been clicking on aura.com/Jedediah Bila and finding out how many times your passwords are on the dark web. And I cannot describe to you. I tell my guy who curates my emails to put the numbers 25, 30, 50, 60 times. Okay. People are finding that their passwords are compromised, meaning folks in the dark web already know them. That means your bank account. That means your social security information. That means your credit cards. That means your YouTube. That means your emails. Terrifying, right? Don't be a victim of identity theft. Don't allow that to happen to you. Get Aura before it happens. Now, what is Aura? It monitors the dark web for your emails, your passwords, your social security numbers, and it sends alerts right to your phone if something's going awry. So if somebody opens a credit card in your name, you're going to get an alert. If it's not you, don't you want to know that it's not you? The VPN also lets you stay anonymous online, which is really important. It keeps all of your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. So important in this day and age where privacy is dead. Don't you want your privacy protected? Aura.com/Jedediah Bila. Now listen, this is the most important part. This is a free 2-week trial. Free, did you hear that? Free 2-week trial that I got you. Go on and see how many times your passwords are on the dark web. Don't allow yourself to fall into financial hell just because you didn't do this. All my family members do. It's been amazing. Even my passwords were on the dark web. Like, I don't remember what it was. It was a couple of years ago now that I've had them, but I think it was like 30 times. Then you go in, you change your passwords, and you're protected. Aura.com/Jedediah Bila. Don't be silly. Okay, number 5 is a doozy. There's a lot of text. It's important. Let's go. Let's hit it. Okay. Man alive. Okay, so it says, the text says, how it feels when you get your dream job and finally dump the bank, I mean the guy you've been dating, for the guy you actually love. So she's been using this guy that she doesn't even like as a bank. She calls him the bank too. And the whole time she's just been probably, I would assume, doing nasty with him, whatever, to get stuff. He's paying her bills. He's buying her whatever she needs. And then she does that for some time, and then she gets a job or a promotion or whatever it may be, and she instantly dumps that guy, and she goes for the guy that she actually loves. Now, why doesn't she love that guy? Well, she doesn't love that guy for many reasons. Number one, he's obviously just a simp, right? What guy is going to be paying for all your stuff like this and be, comfortable being the bank when you're not even in a serious relationship, right? Why are you doing that, guys, right? Only a guy with no options is going to do that for you, right? So she's got no respect for that guy. That's why she don't like him. And then the guy that she actually loves is probably a guy that doesn't take her crap, and a guy that she has to level up for, meaning she has to treat with respect. She has to somehow make herself seem decent, although that might be a challenge in this case, in order to attract that guy, right? You know what I love about this too? Is that she's making this video, right? And she's putting out there. So one, she's got no problem telling the guy that's been paying for all her stuff, I was just using you, right? Kind of like a soulless human in order to be able to do that. Secondly, also a brain dead human, because she now made this video and she's going to go and try to get that guy she actually loves. You think that guy is going to want you after seeing this, brainchild? He's going to see that you just been doing God knows what with a guy that you used and called the bank. Does that make you seem like a high value pick for him? What respectable guy with options in their right mind would ever entertain a woman who had made a video where she openly talked about how she used a man and called him the bank and didn't give a lick about it, right? That's like a soulless, nasty, there's no morals there, right? Empty. Just the morality box is empty on you, honey. So they don't even realize that, A, it's so bad and such a deep character flaw to be able to use somebody like that. Like, you don't feel bad, honey. You don't feel, that says something about you that's deeply sick, right? And secondly, to be able to put it on tape and put it out there with no acknowledgement of how bad it was, and no acknowledgement even that it's going to bite you in the ass because no respectable man would ever want you. It's amazing the lack of self-awareness they have. Isn't it? Isn't it wild? Man alive, what a show today. We started off with vasectomies and we ended with this one. Oof. Y'all okay? Y'all okay? Y'all need a cocktail? I don't drink. Maybe a mocktail? Just saying. Hit that like button for me. Let's crank it up. Let's get busy. Let's get loud. And not get busy like that, y'all. Man. See you soon. Bye.